We begin 2021 with new hope that this year life will be better for each of us. The uncertainty of the COVID-19 pandemic brought anxiety and fear and revealed to us our vulnerability. The social mission of the Jesuit network in Ireland and abroad is the promotion of justice and reconciliation for all. This is expressed in many ways at a local and a global level and is underpinned by the principle that each person has a unique dignity and is deserving of real respect. The Jesuit Centre for Faith and Justice is at the heart of the Irish environmental movement, and in 2021 will continue to work towards making Ireland a climate leader. The harms caused by the climate and biodiversity crisis will dwarf the impact of COVID-19, and all of our social and economic policies, housing, growth, employment, must reflect the need for sustainability and prosperity for all. Green shoots of hope are visible in Ireland, which the Jesuit Centre will help to cultivate over the coming year. Local initiatives and action groups are springing up countrywide as Irish people commit to grassroots climate action. The government is due to deliver a climate action bill that can, with appropriate political pressure, commit us to meaningful change as a nation. At a European level, a new round of the Common Agricultural Policy can transform agriculture across the continent. And in November, every country on earth will gather in Glasgow at the COP Summit, part of the United Nations Climate Change Conference, to establish the new global climate targets. Greta Thunberg famously declared that our world is on fire. 2021 will be decisive in our attempt to douse the flames. The Jesuit Centre for Faith and Justice will continue to advocate, organise and petition to save our planet and our society from this crisis. In March 2020, when the first COVID-19 lockdown began, all the activities of Gardiner Street Parish were abruptly moved online, and Masses at St Francis Xavier Church were celebrated in an empty building. But the parish quickly adapted to the changed environment, and as a new technical team continued to improve their web presence, its Sacred Heart Novena in May went ahead and for the first time was only online. Allowing parishioners to view prayers and Mass on the internet and giving them the opportunity to virtually attend funerals at a time when it's often not possible to say goodbye in person has connected the community at this time of isolation. Social activities continued throughout 2020 and even grew thanks to the church's new virtual presence. A book club and cinema club both proved to be popular ways to connect with people, and their success led to more creative ideas emerging. The success of Gardiner Street Parish's internet communication has given the team there great hope for 2021, when it will continue with its online activities and when even its famous Novena of Grace, which draws crowds from across the country, will be held online. Throughout 2020 and the COVID-19 pandemic, the Jesuit Refugee Service in Ireland, JRS, responded to the needs of asylum seekers and refugees on the ground. More than 7,300 people, a fifth of whom are children, live in the high-risk, congregated setting of direct provision and have been disproportionately affected by the pandemic. Direct provision residents face significant challenges to social distancing due to overcrowded living conditions and communal catering in many centres. JRS supported 600 residents, whom the Department of Justice moved to new locations to reduce overcrowding and to protect the most vulnerable residents and healthcare workers. A free-phone national resident support helpline was also established to provide information and advice to residents in all 84 direct provision centres in the country. JRS continued to deliver vital outreach and support services to asylum seekers throughout Level 5 restrictions. As the pandemic saw education move largely online, JRS provided laptops for asylum-seeking learners in Clare and Limerick centres, prioritising children attending school. It continues to seek funding for additional IT supports for students in direct provision centres. One of the most important developments in 2020 was a commitment by the incoming government to end the system of direct provision within its lifetime. JRS Ireland hopes in 2021 the forthcoming white paper on direct provision will provide a concrete roadmap for transformative system change. that ensures all asylum seekers who seek protection in Ireland will live and be accommodated with dignity while awaiting a final determination of their claims. Irish Jesuits International supports programmes which enable individuals and communities in countries around the world to escape the cycle of poverty and the effects of global injustice. In 2020, people in these marginalised communities had to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic, in addition to their existing challenges, which include displacement, poverty and conflict. In countries as diverse as Lebanon, India and Kenya, people adapted to the new circumstances they found themselves in. Women used their skills to sew face masks and earned some much needed income for themselves and their families. The Jesuit organisations running education and resilience programmes also adapted quickly to the changing circumstances. Classes were moved online so children and adults could still attend. Support services were available through WhatsApp. Jesuit organisations distributed food parcels to households and provided people with sanitary supplies to help them to stay safe from infection. Irish Jesuits International supported more than 100,000 people in 2020 in areas including education, healthcare and human rights, and is hopeful that 2021 will be a better year for the communities it works in Africa, Asia and the Middle East. The trauma of 2020 has now been tempered by the arrival and distribution of the COVID-19 vaccines. We hope that they will also reach the most vulnerable in our world. Compassion is what guides the actions of all Jesuit organisations, and our hope for Ireland and the world in 2021 is that with tolerance of our diversity, we can make each other feel at home.